Welcome, everybody, to the Depths of Motherhood podcast. This is a special season dedicated to the tribe of the mother, but also I know any mothers listening will find this extremely valuable. I've created each episode to offer simple, digestible, and supportive information, which I hope will educate and inspire anyone who listens. So this is by popular demand. Please help us to educate and support the tribe holding the mother. Look forward to passionate and highly knowledgeable guests dedicated to reclaiming the essence of birth and embracing conscious parenting. Throughout our time together, our guests will serve as the guiding voices, illuminating the path towards a deeper understanding of preconception, pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. This is with the mother and the baby being the center of the exploration. In the show notes, you'll discover the link to Nourished Mother package, which will offer many different resources to complement each episode. This is free for all members in the Women's Circle, or £33 for everybody who just wants to purchase the package. A heartfelt thank you to our incredible guests and immense gratitude to my partner for supporting me on this creation. And finally, last but not least, special thank you to Araya, my daughter, for being the endless well of inspiration. Welcome, everybody, to the Depths of Motherhood podcast. I'm your host, Danielle. Today, it is a solo episode, and I am coming to hold space for everything that may be arising in your reality as you are exploring your fertility health, as you are exploring preconception, and to really hold space for all of the information, all of the myths, the protocols, the opinions that are circulating within our brain, within our collective, and kind of just have them outside of us, but really come into the core of who we are to feel into what we need in each moment. My intention from episode 79 to this episode was to offer insights, tools that could guide you back to yourself so that you could really begin to understand where maybe there are some blocks in your river, your internal energy flows that are bringing up certain things physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and get to the core of that. And so we have had incredible guests over these last 12 episodes, and it's been absolutely amazing. So you can find all them from episode 79 to today. But today we are getting to what your body is actually communicating with you. So it's not to add more to the to-do list or the shopping list, because I know that it can get bigger and bigger whenever there's light shone on a certain topic in our lives. But it's actually just to be with what is inside of you. And then from there, start to let the curiosity grow so that you can have more options in your life to what may support and nourish you, because not everything works for everyone. And it might seem that way. If you look at social media, you can see the big influencers, you can see the big accounts, and you could probably look a bit deeper and see who is sponsoring their accounts, to see who they are affiliates with. And then you'll get a better insight to what maybe they're promoting, because it might not be the best for you. Like, it's not always that we have to buy something or do a course or read a book. The real magic is inside. And that sounds so cliche. I know. I really know it sounds cliche. And to get to that part inside of ourselves, it's not just about going beyond the mind. The mind can actually give a lot of clues to where your energy is moving to. And once we just sit back, listen to the thoughts, we'll probably hear the fears as well. And then fears might be what have been moving us for so long. Once we open that door and see what's behind and we feel deeply, then maybe we'll get some more clues to where the message is being held within our body. Even just saying that now, I'm like, okay, what are we doing in this conversation? But trust me, I'm going to get to the end and we are going to do a little exercise. So I am not a fertility expert. I have no qualification in this. I do work with many women who are hoping to conceive. My background is as a qualified nurse, but I'm required. I'm retired now. I'm a doula, a holistic health practitioner, and I've also studied the body very deeply when I trained as a deep tissue therapist. So I'm not going to list everything here, but just to give you a little bit of background, I kind of do have a good idea about the physiological needs of the body and the pathways that it takes. So today we are really going to come to the roots of our anxieties and our fears, which actually begin as a sensation inside of our body, but maybe we first notice them as a thought or an action outside of ourselves, or maybe it is through our environment or the people around us if we are projecting so much and we're blindly projecting, so we don't actually see that this is radiating from ourselves. So coming here today, we're really stepping into our courage to take responsibility for ourselves. And there is, like I said, there's been so much wisdom in the interviews over the last 12 episodes, starting at episode 79. And all this information and the videos and the extra resources to complement these episodes can be found in the Nourished Mother package. If you're in the membership, you can get access to that for free. If not, you can buy it as a one-off. And also in there, I just dropped in the active pregnancy loss and postpartum care course that I put together this year. So yeah, you can find all that beautiful information there. The link is in the show notes. Okay, so let's begin. How are you today? If you are watching me on video, hello. If you're just listening to my voice, hello. How are you? Really? No, that question might bring up some words. Listen, what does your mind want to say? Maybe you're feeling energized, or you're feeling tired, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling like you don't know, or you're feeling joyful. What words come through? And if you were to take a deep breath and to dive into your physical body, where do them words sit inside of you? How does that feeling of joy resonate through your body? What is the sensation? So let go of this technology of words. Breathe in, dive your awareness inside your body, and just feel where the energy is flowing. The link between the words that you gave and the sensations inside of your body. And this is a really big step, just to feel. How does the energy, the sensations, dance or rest inside of you? Does it feel hard or challenging to actually feel, and all you can experience is thoughts? Or maybe there's dullness. Maybe it is, okay, I'm done listening to this now. Just notice they're really good insights to how your nervous system is doing. We have a great episode or workshop in the membership, in the Women's Circle membership, where we explored the different states of our nervous system when we're feeling at peace, when we are feeling like we can't do anymore. There's no actions, no words that we can express. So we kind of freeze. We pause, reserve energy. There's a dullness. And maybe it is that we want to run away, get as far away as possible from this situation, or maybe it is to fight. And that can manifest in so many different ways as well. But that cycle was recorded, so you can find that as well within the membership. All right. So when we come to this time in our life where we are hoping to create the most fertile soil within us so that we can welcome in the soul, so that we can support this baby's growth. The soil within us also includes our thoughts. Our baby will be resting inside of our womb, and the way that we perceive the world is the downloads that this baby is getting. So it will come to understand how the outside world is. So when the baby journeys into the world, when it comes earthside, it will already have the beginnings of this blueprint, which is designed to keep it safe. What is the best way for this little soul to survive in this world? What things to move towards, what things to move away from, what is safe, what is not safe. And obviously, it won't be able to process this in the brain like we will, but the wisdom will be held deep within the cells. And so a person, every human being has a different perspective of the world, what is safe, what is not safe, based on all of their past experiences, based on epigenetics, based on what is coming through in this moment in time. And especially if the basic needs are met. So if the basic needs aren't met, if you're not getting good sleep, nutrition, hydration, movement that the body needs, warmth, this safe connections with human beings, that's also going to affect how we are interpreting the world. So these moments really are how rich and fertile can we get this soil? How can we make our bodies feel so safe? And when they feel safe, then we can start to awaken our senses to deeply feel pleasure. And I'm not just talking sexual, I'm talking when you drink your tea and you feel the warmth on your hands and you smell it and you drink it up and you receive fully. How much can you receive with that communication, with that plant that is in that tea? How much can you, and not just receive, in relationship too? It's a back and a forth. You're giving your awareness and you're receiving this this plant ally into your body. We go into this in one of the episodes actually, which is so beautiful. I can't remember which one it is, but it's talking about our relationship with plants, so I'll put it in the show notes. But really, this pleasure, this connection, this play with our outside world. So how alive can we get our senses so that we are so tuned in that the channels of our senses are so clear that we can interpret the outside world with more clarity compared to if we have closed down in some way. So one of the big ones that you can probably notice in yourself is your sense of smell. The human sense of smell is has been really numbed out because of the chemicals that have been used all around us, because of the pollution from the cars, what we wash our clothes with, wash our hair with is so strong that our sense of smell starts to numb down. But it doesn't mean that you're not receiving. So you're still receiving these particles in the air and they're being received by your brain. You're getting that information. But if we could really come to tune in, our senses would be heightened and we could make more nourishing decisions for ourselves in each moment if we are very clear on what is happening outside of us. And one way to awaken these senses is to get really simple in life, to go to a tree, to feel it, to smell it, to be with it, and notice what arises inside of your body, what movement of energy, maybe what thoughts come up, because there's no coincidence when a thought comes up or a memory. It's not random, it's linked in some way. It could be looking at the flower or the sunrise. And it's just that it's these moments that maybe you could think as like mindfulness. It'd be in a mindfulness book for sure. But it's not just about witnessing it, it's about receiving it and listening to what that connection to the outside world does inside of you. And that way you can come to better understand yourself. You can come to better understand what makes you feel soft, what makes you feel gentle, and what doesn't. And maybe there's some things that to one person might make them feel soft and so safe, and to another, it triggers them because there's a link in some way that that is not safe. There might be some trauma linked to it, whatever it is. And actually, you can work with that because you can use your logical mind and say, well, this is just lavender. So why am I becoming triggered with this? I had this, I'm using this as an example because I had this with lavender. And lavender is actually a smell, a plant that my grandma used to hate. She actually used to put bleach on these lavender plants in the next door garden because she hated the smell of them. And so we just recently did a women's circle yesterday, actually, and we had 4 different types of plants in the teas. We didn't name what they were, so everyone came kind of blind, and I said, all right, now tune into the essence of the plant and which ones you feel most drawn to. And I knew which was in all of them, but still I had this strong, strong connection to lavender, like something. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, do I have to do lavender? I know there's Bobensana, there's blue lotus, there's white lotus in the other tea. But no, I had to trust, and I sat with it, and I had the most beautiful experience, and I laughed. It felt like home, and I left it what my grandma did, and I don't know why she didn't like lavender. I never have found that out to this day. Maybe you will come to me. But I was able to rekindle this relationship with lavender, and I felt the spirit of it. And there was 4 other women who have lavender, and they all felt it in their throat to their heart, and then this kind of expansion around their body. So even if we feel a rejection or a block or a closing down with something, it might be exactly what your body needs, because there's something to be seen and to be loved. And maybe it's not the right thing for you, but maybe it just is, but there is a block in the way. All right, so let's keep going. Now, where should we begin with? Let's start with the basic needs. So like I said, the nourishing of your soil, the richness of your soil. How is your sleep? How is your digestion? When you eat the food that you're choosing to eat, how does it feel when you eat, when it goes into your stomach and your intestines? And then how is it when you poop? How are your poops? Are they regular? Are they painful? Are they loose? Just starting to become aware of the systems inside of your body. When you breathe, do you notice that your breath moves up towards your collarbones? Do you notice a deepness in breath? Do you notice that your breath is rapid? Everyone's taking a deep breath now, I know it. And your heart, your circulation. Do you have cold hands, cold feet, cold womb? Do you notice that you have headaches? Do you feel your heart palpitating? Or do you feel kind of imbalanced? Like there's warmth coming to your whole body. And obviously, if you go into the freezing cold, your fingers and hands, your fingers, your toes, your feet will get cold. Your nose, it will get cold. All the blood will go to your organs. But if you're in a space where it's warm and everyone around you has warm hands and feet, but you always feel cold in your hands and your feet and your nose and your ears, that is something just to be aware of. Okay, so what about when you pee? Do you pee regularly? Are you hydrated? Do you ever get sensations in your kidneys towards the back of your body? How is that? How is your menstrual cycle? Is it regular? Is it painful? Is it absent? Is it really thick and clotted? So we really just come to meet ourselves, our baseline, where we're at today without judgment, but to receive insights. The things I just spoke about have been through the past episodes, so you can find a lot of the basic needs, the imbalances within them through the last episodes. But it's not to say that that is the thing, right? It's not to say that, okay, just because you don't poop, it's because it's something to do with what you're eating or a movement. It could be, but it might not be. This is where we're going today. So I'm not trying to diagnose you. I just want to bring awareness to patterns within your physical body. All right. So pause me if you need to, write down what you need to, just so that you have a better insight. Okay, let's go to mental loops. Is there any loops in your brain that keep coming up? A really good way to find out about this is to just sit, get in a nice, comfortable position, maybe a cushion under your butt, sit up nice and straight, rest your back on the wall if you need to. You want to be in a position where your muscles can just rest on your bones. If you lay down, maybe you'll fall asleep, but maybe you won't, and that'll be the best position for you. But be in a position where you can let your body just be. You don't have to do anything. You're not walking. You're not trying. And as your body comes to settle and you bring your awareness inwards, come to listen. Notice the thoughts that come through. Notice the loops. Notice if your brain is trying to guide you to something that would be interesting. So for instance, when I sit, my mind might go to organizing an event. And that seems really healthy because it's towards the awakening of our community. But then I catch it and I say, actually, I want to see you and I listen. I want to notice that you're there. But the intention of this practice is to find stillness. So I'm going to bring my awareness to my heart. Let's say that's where I place my awareness, and I just breathe into the heart. What is the thought that comes up? What is the loop? You might notice a fear. You might notice actually you don't catch the thought, but it comes up in your body as a sensation. And then you move and you get uncomfortable. Okay, so get comfortable again and keep going. But really, you want to see what are these thoughts that are moving you, because you can get underneath. Because if I got to the point of, why do I keep thinking about organizing this event? Well, if I go deeper and deeper, it is because I want to create something outside of me that is to support other people. But if I go even deeper, maybe there is a fear that I won't be able to create a space that is nourishing for my community. Either way, whatever it is, really at the roots of it, it's not the space that you're creating isn't to look at that. It's not to solve it in that moment. Yes, we can observe the thought, but it's not the dedicated space for that. I have a time when I organize my events. I have a time when I work. I don't need to do it when I'm sat in meditation, but our thoughts can be very sneaky. So see what comes through for you, write it all down and just notice. Sometimes just bringing awareness to them is enough. Sometimes you'll get to the roots of one of your biggest fears. And there you have a space to make different choices, to really look at it and to see if it's true, to see if this fear has any roots in this reality. And if it does, is there some changes to be made? Okay. Emotionally, what emotions keep arising for you? So you might notice that anger comes through, or you might notice frustration, or you might notice a sadness, a depression. You might notice that you move from excited and joyful and curious to then really super dull. These are really great insights to how your nervous system is moving. And the nervous system workshop that I did before will be really helpful for this, just to notice the physiological changes as we move through different phases of our stages, types of our nervous system. So the fight, flight, or freeze, or befriend, these will have different effects on your body, and you can notice them. You'll have just a better insight. You'll make more space. You get to make choices that will nourish you. And so then we can also look at our spiritual connection. Do you feel connected? And one way to really find out is if there are thoughts coming through of, I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel like I'm in the right place. I feel lonely, words and sayings that can pass through our brain. But if we get to the root of them, it's this disconnect. And if we can find ways that help us to connect to our heart, to remember that we are all connected through the same thread, that we have an ancestral line, that our connection to human beings, to nature, to spirit goes well beyond this physical body, that we can communicate through prayer, through our heart, that the language, the technology that we use is just that. It's a tool. It's a bridge to hopefully connect us, but also it can disconnect us if we don't have the language that really represents what is happening inside of us. And this language is what man has made up. So it's very, very limited. That's why coming to practices with yourself that is beyond words is very powerful, because you'll come to understand yourself much more deeply and meet your partner, your friends, your family with much more depth. And also the nature around you. And that's really important one too, because we can have the nature as our allies as well. The final one I'll just say to spend more time looking at is our relationships. And a way to do this is just to bring your partner to mind. You're on this journey, you're co-creating, bring them to mind. How does it feel inside of your body to think of your partner? When do you feel really connected? When your heart feels open, everything feels soft, everything feels aligned. And what are some moments when you feel disconnected, you don't feel understood? And where do you feel that in your body? how to connect in relationships. We can have a full-on episode with this, and we are going to go a little bit deeper into it because it's very important. You're not doing this alone at all. You have your partner and you have this spirit coming in to this moment in time. It's very much a co-creation. And there is so much online that kind of shines a light onto the mother. But it's not all yours to take on and to solve. You're not alone in this. Well, whatever we have with this information we've just been given as we explore these areas of our life, these are just a few things that I'm touching on. And I'm touching on them because your mind wants something to hold on to. But at the root of all of them, there's a sensation inside of your body. So now is the time to feel. What is the origin? Where is the origin? Let's take a moment. Let's take 5 minutes together right now to do a little practice. Come to lay down or to sit, whatever you feel comfortable. And feel the crown of your head. Just feel. You don't need to imagine anything's there. You might need to tap on the crown of your head to actually bring your awareness there if you haven't been working with this part of your body for so long. Maybe circles, more of an energetic touch. And come to breathe the life force in through the crown of your head. Let it seep through your whole body, to your hands, to your fingers, to your feet, to your toes, passing through your entire being, meeting every cell. And when you exhale, feel your awareness just sink deeper into your body. So the inhale is the drawing in through the crown of the head, welcoming all of you back in, coming online, feeling, hearing, smelling, tasting, expanding with that inhale breath, and the exhale is a melting in into your center, wherever that may be. Take that breath 3 more times. And inside of you, just say, I'm coming to listen. Share with me. And your body can share in many ways, through thoughts, through memories, through sensations, through sounds, synchronicities. And the synchronicities is coming from a projection of something or bringing awareness to something. So we start to see these little clues. But now just come inwards, come in, come in, come in. Notice the sensations inside of your body. So I'll use words to guide you a little bit deeper, but you're just feeling. So maybe there is tension around the jaw or the neck. What is the feeling of that? Where is its origin? How does it radiate? Maybe it moves as you start to bring awareness to it. Maybe it's a space deep in your womb. Just scan your body for that energy that is standing out right now. And we're coming to be in relation with it. We're not asking it to go away. We're asking it to stay. Stay. I love you. I want to sit with you. I want to listen. Come to find that place inside of you. Let your awareness rest there. So it's kind of like there's a bubble of energy around this space, and you can just sit back and you can really feel it. You can feel how it moves, how it dances, how maybe it hides sometimes and then reappears in a different area of your body. See what happens when I ask these next questions. What is it that is wanting to be seen right now? Seen and felt inside of your body. Come to feel deeply and hold space for that. Just come and feel it, that's all. How does it move? How does it dance? What is it that you really need in this moment to feel safe? And you're asking that part of your body that has come to say hello. And it might be very simple. It might be saying, I need some movement right now, or I'm thirsty, or I could really eat this food. It might be I want to make space for a certain conversation. So you might see something, you might have a vision of a person. It's not random. None of this is random. Okay, just come back to feel the sensation again. Is there anything that your body would like you to know right now? Come to feel, listen. What are the words? What are the feelings? Come back to feeling. Feel it deeply and just say, I love you. I know that you might not know how to communicate with me in a way that I understand right now, but I'm going to keep coming back to listen because I trust in my body. I trust that I know what I need. I trust that I will receive the messages. And I promise you that I will come to understand your language. I will go beyond words. I will feel deeply. I love you. Okay, notice if the sensation has shifted or changed at all. And let's start to notice the breath coming in, deep, nourishing breaths. So as you come back into this moment in time, this practice that I just shared with you, that was very short. We do this in the membership. There's a lot of energy healing practices within there. This practice comes from Evolving Humans. He has this over 100 sessions that you can get the course for, but you don't need to. You can just do this practice every single day. So if something's coming up for you, let's say it's a physical thing, you're not sleeping. Okay, you're not sleeping. Lay down, sit in a seat, bring the issue, the challenge to mind. What is it that I need? What is the origin of this? Maybe it'll be so simple as you need to move your bed in a different position, or the washing powder you're using is too strong, or maybe it's more to do with something that is playing on your mind. Maybe it is to do with the nutrients, but just come to listen and see if you can find out for yourself by the messages from your body. It might just resonate near a certain organ. It might be a certain thought loop that comes up, but trust that your body is going to give you some information that can support you to come back into balance. That is all it wants. It just wants to be in harmony, to be in peace. So when you don't sleep, it's your body communicating with you. There's something that I need you to look at. There's choices, different choices I would like you to make. There's some things I would like you to include. So if it's within, you're noticing resistance, depletion, challenges, thought loops, closing down in relationships. What is it? What is that moment when you start to close down or fight or run away, become depleted? What is that exact moment? Where is the blockage in communication in relationship with this person? How can you clear out the river so that you can more clearly communicate, or you can better receive? So again, it's like taking responsibility. Are you fully listening to that person, or are you interrupting them? Are you sharing the depths of yourself, or is the language becoming a block? So it might help you to write things down. It might help you to meditate first, or you might just need touch in your relationship. Let go of the words, let go of this tool, and just come to touch, to really meet again in the heart space, to have that relationship, to open the channel. And let's just move more deeply into relationships right now. So if we think about this relationship that we are in, I'm calling in this beautiful soul into existence, to manifest this soul, to have your womb as its first home, as it starts to come into physical form. Have you made time to honor this journey that you're all on, this co-creation? And you can see this as a boundary. a boundary around this creation? Have you come to be in ceremony with this journey that you're on? And a ceremony is a space where we can deepen into our truth, where we can become more aligned to our authenticity, to meet one another. And it's not all roses in this ceremonial space, is where also we can see our fears. And this is beautiful as well, because we can evolve beyond them. We can see what the roots are. So maybe you've done work on yourself. It's very important to have that separate time where you're in ceremony with yourself, to go deeper with your own fears, your own needs, your own desires, to communicate with the soul just by yourself. And then it's very important to come into the ceremonial space. And it doesn't have to be candles and incense sticks and crystals. It's just a dedicated time, moments in time to sit together, to sit all together, where there's a boundary, where nothing can come in and interrupt this connection with you all, with spirit, with your heart. It's a protected time. Maybe it's no phones. Maybe it is, a time when you're not tired, a time when you're not thinking about work, a time when you're not hyperstimulated. Maybe it's you going to nature, whatever it is where you can all feel soft and safe. And in that space, then the ceremony allows for this unique essence between you all to come alive, to be seen, to be held space for, to notice when you're triggered, to notice when the mind comes and just call it out. Okay, I'm noticing that my body is becoming tense, my breath is changing, I'm having thoughts, I kind of want to move away. All right, before you go any further, hold space for that. And it might be challenging in some ways, because when this emotion takes over, when the nervous system comes alive, it can fully take over. But how can you anchor in this awareness to hold space for it? Nothing needs to be rushed, nothing needs to be solved, just to see and hold it until you come back to center together as a family. And these practices are so powerful as you go on your journey through parenthood. And like we had a conversation with Deborah Kilby, these souls might not want to come in right now. It might take a year, 2 years. There might be pregnancy losses. Yet you're still a family because your intention is there. And so by beginning, stepping foot onto this journey as a family, that awakens this awareness inside of us to begin to hold space for one another, to meet one another more deeply, much deeper than the physical realm. Like, there's so much that we can't put into words, that we can't understand by the mind. But maybe if you've been in deep ecstasy or deep grief, you can experience these moments that are beyond the physical. And it's like, there is something there, and I might not have words for it. I might not understand it with the mind, but I feel something. I know something else exists beyond this physical. So when we get into the ceremonial space, we can start to hold space for the fears, like I mentioned, and the desires too, and to see if the desires are really rooted in our authentic seed of ourself, or if the desires are coming from fear too. And these fears, how do we hold them together? Maybe there is a ritual that you can do if there is a fear arising, if someone is triggered. Okay, if there's a trigger, then we will breathe together, or I will hold you, or I will make a little bit of space. It's really dependent on how your nervous system responds to that human being, whether it wants them to be closer or further away. Maybe there's a certain phrase. Would you like to take some time away? Is there something that I could do that would best serve you? Or I see you. I can see there's something arising, and I'm not going anywhere. I love you. These words will have to be explored to see what actually works, what feels good for your nervous system in the moment. And so as we start to deepen into relationship and go beyond the technology of words, because this is a bridge to communicate, But if you really come to feel that this connection with this human being is of the heart, is energetic, is so much deeper than what we're seeing, we can come to feel one another more deeply. Set the scene. Again, your body is feeling safe. What is that? What makes you feel soft? Is it candles? Is it a certain smell? Is it a certain drink? What things can you bring in as allies? Is it a certain time of the day? Is there some movements that you prefer to do before? Come to find what it is that makes your body feel safe. And come to explore what you want to experience when you start to get closer physically, when you start to merge. What are some things that when you're touched, your body just feels like yes, it comes soft, it opens? What is the things that are absolutely no? They don't make me feel good. Like if your partner whispers things in your ear, but they make you cringe, they close you down. Let's talk about that, because maybe there's a way that that would feel good for you, but maybe it is an absolute no. Notice when boundaries are being crossed like that, and space to slow down and say, that doesn't feel good for me, or that feels really good for me, please. And there we can explore, we can expand this box that we're in, and we can get to know one another more deeply. So the time and ceremony with one another is one to be protected. And that is the boundary. So how does that look? And then throughout our day, we can call in pleasure. I want to experience life with pleasure. When I pray, when I meditate, how can I set that scene, create that ceremonial space, dancing, eating good food, just breathing, smelling a flower? We can protect it. Maybe it's no phones. Maybe it's we take some time alone. Maybe it's we have these meal times where I light the candle and I prepare the food with so much love. It is calling back our energy because there is so much outside of us that is pulling our energy to feed their dream, to feed their desire. And the most common one is social media, but also through podcasts, through audiobooks. Maybe it's super nourishing, but maybe it's taking you away from the thing that is at the center of the ceremony, whether it's eating food, having sex, praying, meditating, dancing, whatever it is. Maybe the audiobook, the podcast deserves its own time too. And I know we live in a world that is super rushed, that there's so much to do. And that is another thing. Look at your life. What is depleting you? What is nourishing? What can you let go of so that you can make space for more ceremony, more time with you, more time with your family? What is it? Because some of these things that we're attached to are really rooted in our ego. Like if we let go of that thing, then who am I? Where will I get my approval? Where will I get these feelings that I'm worthy of existing? So yeah, I said we're not going to go so deep here, but it is the deep. It's the deepest thing of how much do you love yourself and do you know that you are worthy just because you exist? You don't need to do anything for other people's approval. Come to exist, come to feel pleasure. The rippling out of you in tune with that will serve humanity, will serve nature so much more than creating something because your mind thinks that it's going to give you this sense of approval. Ooh. All right, so let's just give our appreciation for some words that have come up, the technology that we've used through language, and really see how we can bring ceremony into our lives to protect this time, these phases that we go through, to create energetic boundaries so that things that take our energy away, our awareness away, can be left outside. And this is going to be practice because, these things are deeply ingrained in our daily lives. They're constantly giving us feedback, the things that we choose to do. So it's getting very honest, taking responsibility, but now is the time. Now is the time to do this. So what is taking you away from fully experiencing life. What is taking you away from fully experiencing life through all of your senses? What is taking you away from your heart, from your authentic expression? Where are the distractions? So when you come to create ceremony for yourself and for others, you are saying, what is an absolute no that can come into this space in these moments? And also, what will you welcome in? What helps you to drop in? So there's like two sides, what takes you out of your body and what brings you deeper into yourself. All right. Thank you so much for going on this little journey with me. I really appreciate you, and it's really great to get to know you all as well. So when you send me messages through the email, through Instagram, it's really nice just to connect to you on a deeper level. So I appreciate your stories. I appreciate your messages, and I appreciate your support with this podcast, this creation that we are doing together, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you listening. Okay, thank you so much. All the information that I've shared in these words can be found in the show notes. See you in the next episode where we are going deeper into pregnancy, and then we'll move on to postpartum. All right, have a beautiful day. See you soon.